saw that there were 36% of union households that had voted for Walker. And then when I continued to look in further, there were studies showing that after his reforms were implemented, groups like AFSCME saw their membership drop from, I think it was like over $62,000 to, or 62,000 people to 23,000 people in like a month when workers were finally given a choice. Knowing this and seeing that labor groups in this past election spent $21 million, which is a number that's not included in the DNC and its DGA numbers for the Democrat campaign, which really shrinks the gap between spending for Walker and Barrett. I'm wondering though if this is a problem that the progressive movement sees continuing and why those numbers decrease so much, why you had 36% that voted for Walker. Is it because they're unhappy with leadership? Is it, what is that? And how does grassroots plan to help make up those numbers?
Well, first of all, the 36% number would be more helpful if we knew who in the household was the one who's actually voting. You know, you've got households with one union member and another one who's not. So not that that eliminates the entire thing. I think it's a valid, interesting thing to bring up. But it's not quite exactly what it sounds like it is. But you should have addressed this before. It was just, and I'm blanking right now. Go ahead.
I mean, I think the broader impetus of what you're suggesting that there's somehow, and this is something that at Breitbart News, and you've been doing a great job spreading this propaganda on CNN and everywhere else.
It's not propaganda.
The idea that you can conflate the money of billionaires with working families and unions is
well, no, I'm citing $21 million that were given by labor groups. I'm not number actually. They're from election records in Wisconsin. I mean, it goes with DCA and DGA money. We reported on that. It's at the website if you want to go and look at the links and the sources as well. But that actually shrinks the gap between Walker and Barrett. That wasn't really my focus, though. My focus was, is that, because this is really the third election in a row that we've seen a loss like this. Do we think that, and I'm being genuine with my question, is it because they feel dispirited? What is grassroots?
I think the ability of the 1% of billionaires to spread political propaganda through expensive television commercials is an unparalleled power that we've never seen before, that is able to manipulate people to vote against their own interests, and it's a specific plan to subvert democracy by making democratic discourse something you can literally buy. This attitude that money is speech, that corporations can take over the voices of working families and drown them out, is something that is shameful, and I think the attitude that union dues are the same as checks from Wall Street, that is frankly.
Well, and this is I want to address this I think there is, and I agree with Mary, but I think the important thing is to sort of step back from both sides of the rhetoric here. There's been a long campaign, not just so I think there is a hard look that needs to be done at how union leadership goes about engaging with its membership. I think there is some room for reform within big unions, and that's true of any organization that's been around for a long time. You have to take a hard look at how you're doing things, how you're adapting, how you're serving your membership. But I also think, and I think this is just as important, that there has been a concerted campaign over decades now to change the narrative to say to people that, as opposed to unions being an important way for that regular folks to band together and have a voice and have a place at the table to negotiate, we're changing it now to this, go back to the politics of envy, that union membership, the fact that union members have decent wages and have time off and have health care and have insurance and have pensions, as opposed to saying everybody should have this. We are saying, the narrative I feel has changed very much to be that you have that, I don't want you to have that either. And I feel like that has sort of been the biggest shift. And sure, when you open things up and you give choice to people like this, they're going to leave because they've been sort of led to believe that this is a bum deal. And maybe in some of the unions, they're not getting as good of a deal as they could because they're not involved in leadership and there's some disconnect there. But I think it's also a great deal to do with this fact that we've really demonized. I mean, we're talking about teachers and librarians and construction workers and people who are doing good, hard, decent work that is crucial for our communities. And we somehow managed to demonize that work and demonize the fact that they're going to make a good living and get good support so that they can live a decent life and not have to just work their asses off all the time and be driven and drowned and not have weekends and all that. So I think, you know, it's convenient to just say, look at this thing that's happened right now, but it's been a much longer historical degrading of how we view unions and how we view their role in society and what good they can do.
I also think, and this is sort of an earnest answer, is that I'm not sure, I guess I would be sort of clear with the exit polling data that this was sort of a regular general election or a recall election, because I think the fact that so much was raised about people's comfort with the recall mechanism that it might be hard to take real sort of crystal clear takeaways from that. I just think that it sort of it fuzzes a little bit what kind of, and not to say that what you're saying may not be true, or may or may not be true, I just think it sort of fuzzes the clear takeaways from the vote, because I think the discomfort sort of crossed demographics and other interests.
Thanks. We only have a few more minutes, so I want to make sure everyone else can ask their question.
GrokTV.